Hi, everyone. I wanted to take some time on this Friday to pause with math content for a moment and review how to use the Edgenuity platform. I know that this is something new for all of us, but I wanted to take a few minutes and really go through it with you, go over some of the neat features that I think you might be interested in using if you haven't already discovered them on your own. So let's get started. When you first sign into Edgenuity, you're going to see these boxes with the class title. So these are all of the courses that I have been enrolled in as a student. When I select one of these courses, I'm taken to that course's homepage, and it automatically defaults to the course map. And it also automatically brings you to the activity that you're currently working on. So I'm currently working on this summary. However, if I scroll up, I see all of the activities with a purple check mark beside the ones that I've completed. You'll also see your score on assignments and quizzes. Those are graded. When I scroll all the way up here, I see the unit title, and then I see this purple rectangular box, expressions in one variable. This is the title of the first lesson. And again, as a reminder, you've got your unit, your lesson. Each lesson has a warm-up, instruction, summary, assignment, quiz, and then you start your next lesson. I want to click on this plus sign here because it pulls up a couple of interesting pieces of information. So in this lesson, here's the objectives. So by the end of all 5 activities, these are the things that I want to be able to do. If you select transcripts, this is everything that the instructor says in each video with the timestamp beside it. You may or may not find that interesting or helpful. If you're struggling to hear her in certain sections or activities, then this might be something useful to you because you could go back and read it. The one thing that I find most helpful in this section is this right here, View Guided Notes. When you select this, you'll get a separate tab opened, and you have a printable version of basically fill in the blank notes. So or you could save it on your computer if that's something that you're interested in doing. And when you scroll down, so this is the warm-up, it goes all the way through instruction. Okay. The only thing it does not do is take you to the assignment. So the guided notes is the warm-up, the instruction, and the summary. It does not have a copy of the questions from your assignment or your quiz. But still, some of you have asked me about taking notes. This is one option for you. If you don't want to write everything out by hand, you could, if you have a printer, print it out and fill in the blanks. Okay. Now, as far as navigation goes, if you look over here on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a list of all your units. So I'm currently in the unit titled Representing Relationships. I've completed the first lesson, and I'm in the second lesson, Quantitative Reasoning, because it's highlighted purple. Now, of course, you can click on any of the lessons within the unit, and it's going to take you to that lesson over here on the left-hand side. When I select Representing Relationships, it condenses all of those lessons. But again, click it and you can go back to any of the lessons within the unit. So this is just another way of navigating through your course map over here on the right. Okay, so that is your course navigation in a nutshell. I wanted to go to an activity and kind of work you through the navigation in that page. So this is the instructional video for one of the lessons. And the first thing I wanted to discuss with you are these tools over here on the left-hand side if you haven't explored them yet. So this tool is for highlighting text within the document. So you would select which text you want to highlight and then pick your color, or maybe you want to remove all the highlights. That's what this one here on the end is. There is also a calculator within the Edgenuity platform itself. So if you don't have your own graphing calculator, you don't want to open a new tab, you can select this calculator and it has just your basic. There's also some other neat features here. If you select this, it's going to bring you to the Desmos calculator that we will be using in the class, and that's available on your end of grade course. So this is the calculator that I really recommend you use. It has a lot of neat functions that we're going to go through this year. This particular one, the matrix calendar or calculator, excuse me, you're not going to use in Math 1 very much. That's not Math 1 content. Regression calculator, that is something that we might use in our statistical unit later on in the course. We probably will also use this calculator when we're making bar graphs and histograms in our statistics units. But again, we're not in a statistics unit, so you're going to be using these first two options most of the time. This option here, normal probability, you're not going to use in this class. I would not even worry about learning how to navigate that at this point. All right, so those are your tools on the left-hand side. And the other piece of information I wanted to discuss briefly with you is the navigation at the bottom of the screen. So these little orange boxes are the sections of this activity. So there's 13 sections in this activity. You can click on those individually to go through them, or the next and back arrows. You will not have the ability to click next activity down here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen until you have completed all sections of the activity. Now, one thing that I don't think that a lot of people have explored yet is this plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. This opens up some neat things, some neat tools that you could use. First of all, this is the transcript for this particular activity. So this is everything that the instructor says in this particular activity. The glossary tab takes you to your keywords, your key vocabulary for the entire lesson. The e-notes is something that I think you might be interested in using. I've already typed some notes earlier. If I click on them, it brings it up in the text box down here at the bottom, so I could edit them. Maybe I want to just add a space between them and save it for format purposes. Whatever you type here, you're going to want to click save. Okay. And that's just another way of taking notes if you don't want to write it out by hand. So in this screen, if you want to navigate back to the course map, you select this house button up here in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, and it takes you back to that particular course's homepage. To get to the overall homepage, you would need to select this button in the upper left-hand corner. It looks like a computer screen, and that could take you back to the very beginning homepage. Okay, the last couple of buttons that I want to show you are over here on the left-hand side. If you select eNotes, you have a list of the units over here on the left-hand side. When I select the arrow beside the unit name and then click the lesson name, you'll see all of the notes that you typed in that e-notes section. So I was on the second lesson within the unit, and these are the notes that I typed in that little text box on the right-hand side of the screen. If I wanted to print those, I could. That's an option for you, or you could save it as a PDF document when you select print. Then you could save it as a PDF. You could save it to your Google Drive. You don't necessarily have to print it, or you could just leave it here for you to come back to later. That's up to you. I just want you to know that there are multiple ways for you to be taking notes. There is also a course progress button over here on the left-hand side of the screen, and it's your overall progress within the course. So I've completed 2% of the course, and thus far, these are the scores that I have achieved in the categories that are available. Now, the final button that I'm going to go through with you is course report. That, if you click on it and save it to your computer, that is a printout of all the units with all the lessons, and it has your usage time and your scores. If you're interested in just looking back and seeing how you're doing, this is one way to do it. Or if you're interested in just seeing, okay, what lessons have I done? And then what lessons do I have coming up? That's another option for you. All right, everyone. I know that that's a lot of information that I just went over on Edgenuity. I would have loved to have gone over this with you in person in class, but it is what it is. If you still have questions about Edgenuity, please just send me an email and I will help you out however I can. I look forward to seeing you all at our next live session.